jump cut. So I'm picking up the section from Sierra City to a little before Chester, a road called Humboldt Road. This pickup is to make up the part that I skipped to recover from my foot fungal infection a couple of months ago. So this will fill that gap. It's about 116 miles and should take about 4.5 days. And that will complete this thing. So I'm about 3 miles in, climbing up, turned a corner, and seeing some Sierra buttes up ahead. Nice Northern California familiar brush, manzanita. And coming up on another view. This is kind of the first new vista of the day. Oh, bear. Just got a little bear run across the trail. Heading that direction. So I'm a few hours in, like 3 hours in, and at pretty much the first of 3 or 4 kind of rolling summits, and up a little over 7,000 feet, and you can see more of the kind of Sierra-y, northern Sierra-y rocks going on over there. I'm going to be heading towards Tamarask Lakes, upper and lower, in a little bit. I'll get some water there. It's about 10:15, too early for lunch, probably by the time I get to the lakes, but this is Northern California, out of Sierra City. So we're at mile 1206.7, Lower Tamarack Lake. I'm going to be gathering water just up here. It's a little after 11, and I'll keep on marching for a couple hours before I stop for lunch. Cool little lake. We got another lovely Northern California seasonal stream flowing nice, clear and clean. I got enough water, so I'm going to be heading up the trail a bit. I'm going to show you the perfect lunch spot. All the components of the perfect lunch spot. So one is clear flowing water and cool. 2 is a nice log to sit on. 3 are trees or other things on which you can place your water filter to squeeze the cool, clear water through. And shade. This place has all of those, making it a perfect lunch spot. Oh, and it occurs sometime between 12:30 and 1:30 on the trail. This place is perfect. It's a little before 1:30. So one of the things I really like about the Sierra, as opposed to some of the other forests of the PCT, is that the Sierra has fewer trees. It's more rocky and fewer trees. And the thing I like about that is you can actually see through the trees at various vistas and not feel like you are in this green tunnel of trees. So I love that about the Sierra. And so here's an example of how sparse the trees are, so you can see farther, including lakes, hills, and other things. So I'm at mile 1215.3. It's about 3:30. Just came down that little ways after climbing up and have another new vista. Got a cute little lake down here, which I believe is Silver Lake. The big one over there I think is Long Lake. And it's just kind of a pretty scene from above. Got about 6 miles to the where I was planning on camping, but I may get there a little early, in which case I may just have dinner there and keep on walking. We'll see. So even in early September, there's flowers in the Sierra. This is California fuchsia. It's a pretty little flower. We're headed off in that direction. So we're at mile 1232.4, hiking along Bunker Hill Ridge, actually coming up that way. Got a pretty unobstructed view all around. Gonna head around to the left. That right there, that little knob there, is Bunker Hill, and that's it. We're at mile 1241.2 and back in California wildfire burn area. This is a day and 3/4 past Sierra City and about a little more than 10 miles from the Feather River. So you can see it's pretty well burnt, but seedlings and other plants are growing, but it's not the prettiest section of the trail by any stretch. So we're at mile 1247.6, just about 3.8 miles from the middle fork of the Feather River. It's pretty much all downhill to the Feather River, but you can see down there is probably going to be the Feather River. And tomorrow, I got to climb up over that. So tomorrow is going to be another big climbing day. So that is the bridge over the middle fork of the Feather River. And that is the Feather River. So I'm looking for a tent site just past the bridge that's close enough to get water. And we'll see. So I had a nice little campsite by the Feather River. Cowboyed successfully. You can see the river right over there, where I collected water. Yeah, pretty nice place. So today's going to be a big climbing day. Looks like over 6,000 feet of vertical climb, and that's quite a bit. So this is Bear Creek Bridge. Haven't seen any bears today. Pretty little creek. Alright, we're at mile 1261.6. Just came up that. It was a pretty constant climb from the middle fork of the Feather River. Got to this little saddle here. You can see for a long ways. And now I'm mostly going to be heading downhill to get past Bucks Lake. Bucks Lake, there's a road crossing. It's about 11:45, and so I'm going to keep walking for another couple of hours past from here, ultimately past Bucks Lake for a lunch spot at a spring up the ways. So that's going to be a bit of a climb from Bucks Lake. All right, we're coming up on the road that goes to Bucks Lake. It's a Saturday, and this is kind of what happens when you're on the trail with time on your hands, thinking about, dreaming about what might be a surprise trail magic. But today looks like no luck. So there it is, no luck. Other than the fact that it's a little hazy, this is kind of a cool little campsite. Came up this way. There's a couple of campsites over here. Kind of looking over a high but little meadow. Just on the other side over there. But I want to keep on marching for probably about 4 more miles, something like that, to get to a spot that'll be about 25-mile day. So came up right up there. You can see some lakes down there. And you can see some burn down there. And you can see over there is where the campsite's going to be. Now we're talking a sunrise. We got the clouds. We got the mountains. All from my campsite. Really cool place. Hi, we're at mile 1282 amongst rocks, burned out manzanita that's coming back after a fire, and then among more rocks. And it's really kind of reminiscent of Southern California desert rocks. I'm about 6.5 miles out of the town of Belden, and I'll cross the Feather River, different fork, in about 6.5 miles, and then head up. Here's something you don't see every day. Side of the trail, a crappy old plastic guitar Looks like 10:49 at Goodwill. Action is incredibly high. It's what you would call a lousy guitar. Alright, so down there is the Feather River, I think North Fork. And the trail winds up over that ridge and tops up there. So this is the climb out of Belden that nobody looks forward to, but everybody's got to do it. So that's the North Fork, the Feather River. Just about a mile out from Belden, where I've decided I'm going to stop for a burger before my climb. Walking up the main street of Belden. I could probably say the only street in Belden. I'm looking forward to a burger. Alright, so this is going to be my last trail burger. Eaten here
Thank you very much.
at the Belden Bar and Resort Restaurant. And I'm going to hit the trail. Alright, so this is Chips Creek and the Chips Creek Bridge. Pretty substantial bridge. So I'm about 5 miles away from camp, and it's pretty much all uphill. Just outside a camp, just below it, a little after 7, and this is the last day before, well, this is the day I get to Humboldt Road, where I'll be picked up by my super awesome trail angel. So got about a little less than 7 miles to go to Humboldt Road. I think pretty much the whole way is going to be through this burn zone. You can see these bushes, these are all thorn bushes, and they're pretty much taking over the place everywhere. So not a pretty section foliage wise, but it'll grow back. About 1.5 miles away from Humboldt Road, and another new vista. I'll keep on going that way. All right, about 1.5 miles from Humboldt Road, walking under some cool rocks. To what I think is going to be a new vista. Well, it is mostly burned, but a new vista nonetheless. Look who we have here. My dedicated trail angel, silver angel, waiting for me at the Humboldt Road pickup point. Hello.
Hello, dirtbag.